So we have with us today Dr. Yakusak, the EDCO of NEPC, that is Nigerian Export Promotion Council. Who better to have with us today? He's the director. Before he came to this position, he did not just come from a vacuum. He was a director, policy and strategy, director, trade information department, region coordinator, North Central, NEPC, Servicom nodal officer, head corporate services department encompassing human resources, administration, ICT, legal, pension, security and staff welfare, secretary, NEPC governing board, pioneer, legal officer, legal advisor, focal point on the implementation of the Freedom of Information FOI Act, pension, pioneer pension schedule officer, just to mention a few about where it's coming from. So you are highly welcome to our meet today, sir. I will pass the baton now to Mr. Femi to talk about him and bring him on officially. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lady K. And just before I introduce Dr. Yakusak, I want to, on behalf of all participants, thank again Dr. Bamidele Ayemibo for the very detailed and eye-opening presentation that has actually exposed the major reason why we chose this topic for today's webinar. I rushed through that in the opening, the overview that I gave, but the whole idea was everybody started feeling jittery because Russia and Ukraine, between them, were going to stop the exportation to the world of all of those products that they have the majority control of the global market. And I had a few discussions. I think the inspiration actually came from an NTA program to which I was invited almost 48 hours after the Russia-Ukraine war broke out. And the point there that we noted was that every other country in the world was already getting set for the possible negative implications and scarcity in identified goods, selected goods that was going to happen as a result of the war. So we felt, the technical team, that it's an opportunity for us as Nigeria. Yeah, I permit myself to say us as Nigeria. I'm first a Nigerian before I'm a Canadian. And so I owe my allegiance also to Nigeria that actually stands to benefit quite hugely from the disruptions in the supply of these identified products. People focus seriously on, more seriously on wheat, corn, and the barley and stuff like that. But emergency situations abound everywhere, every day, and it's not only a matter of war. We believe that it is time for a country like Nigeria to actually position, equip, and build the capacity of its exporters. So even concentrate solely on the export market for emergency procurement. In those days, part of the supply-based study that was done by the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, I was privileged to be a staff then, actually threw up the capacity in the production of blankets and towels. For example, in Kano, I think it was a British company, Holborn Nigeria Limited, I'm not too sure. That's a long time ago. But they produce towels and the blankets. There is a company in Zaria that produces tarpaulins and tents. Almost everywhere in Nigeria, there is production of water, either in the table water or pure water. Just at the onset of COVID-19 global pandemic, Nigerian women, members of the network of practicing non-oil exporters of Nigeria, decided to suspend whatever it was that they were doing at that time, and to concentrate on the production of face masks, hand gloves, and they actually made huge amounts from all of this. Now Dr. Ayemibo has opened our eyes to even more. There are silos that Nigeria invested in all over the country. Every state capital, at least, if not every local government area capital, has silos that were actually installed by the federal government under one or the other of the intervention scheme. I passed by the one in Ado-Ekiti about 2 weeks ago. I asked if anything had ever been stored there. There's nothing. So it is not time for us to be talking about food scarcity or food security. It is time for us as exporters, potential exporters, interested investors, to look at the presentation that Dr. Ayemibo has made today, and to now be able to begin to address our minds towards the possibility of guaranteeing food security, like Dr. Ayemibo said, and also exporting the spillover and making the so scarce hard currency that Nigeria is all about. I'm sorry, I needed to recap all of that before I bring in the EDCU of the Nigeria Export Promotion Council. And actually, even though some think I'm a wordsmith, I don't have enough words to express the kind of admiration that personally I have, and my team have explained to them, for Dr. Yakusak's willingness to actually make himself available. We are in a community where MDAs in Nigeria do not consult with the target victims or beneficiaries of their policies. They just unleash them on the industry or on the sector. When I spoke to Dr. Yakusak, I think it was between 3 and 5 minutes when I explained to him the desire of Talking Trade and Investment Global for him to actually hobnob with us and feel the pulse of the practitioners in Nigeria's non-oil export sector. I want to say that we are grateful that within 3 minutes he accepted and he's here personally today. May I also reiterate that even though he's just making a cameo appearance, like they say in football, this cameo is preparatory to a bigger presence with us in this session, May session of Talking Trade and Investment Global. Lady K has already read out parts, a very little part of his credentials. I won't waste much time on that. We'll just invite Dr. Ezra Yakusak, the Executive Director, Chief Executive Officer of Nigeria Export Promotion Council, to speak to us a few remarks. And I can assure you that he won't leave. During the Q&A, he is ready. And something else. Please, Dr. Ezra, permit me for sharing this. It was a chat between us. I was assuring Dr. Yakusak that I shouldn't worry. Our people are well behaved. They will not be firing arrows at him. And he said, no. Quickly, he cut me short and said, no, do not gag anybody. I want to know how exporters feel. And hey, people, Dr. Ayemibo, NPNEN, all of us who have been fighting that CBN does not consult and does not engage and does not listen, I just there and then saw a complete difference. And so, once again, we are happy, we are grateful, and we thank you for being here. Dr. Ezra Yakusak, you have the floor. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. I don't know, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we
Okay,
can
thank
see
you very much. Because of where I am, I don't know whether you mind me not sharing my video. Is that okay with you?
very okay.
Oh yeah, because of bandwidth issues. Well, okay.
Yeah, but the background is not good. Where I am, the background is not very good. So I'm sorry about that. Having said that, Mr. Boyede, I want to thank you very much for inviting me, and I want to congratulate you for the Talking Trade program, which has been going on for some time now. One of the things you don't know sometimes is that I come in here anonymously, and sometimes if I don't, I listen to your program and I listen to a recorded version of the program. The other day, I listened to the gentleman, I can't remember his name now, I wrote his name somewhere, I wanted to get across to him. I listened to him where he said NEPC, we don't give enough notice for our programs, that the program comes so suddenly and you are trying to choke people, to attend to programs and why not. And I took that seriously, and I give directives that, see, from now onward, we should ensure that adequate notice is given to exporters for programs, Now, I need to say this. I was appointed for you people. I wasn't appointed for staff of NEPC alone. I was appointed for you people. I was appointed for exporters. It's only right, it's only trite, it's only fair that I listen to you and I listen to the issues concerning you. Like Mr. Boyede said, when he was talking to me, I said, see, some people may ask questions. I said, no, please don't gag anybody. Let them ask all the questions they want. For me as a person, I would prefer you telling me my faults than pressing me like we want in Nigeria. You are doing good. You are doing good. No, don't tell me about I'm doing good. Tell me where and what I need to do for the benefit of exporters. We don't in NEPC. It's a new phase, and so we don't take the issues of exporters lightly. Some of you will recall that the moment the e-invoicing was introduced by CBN, in less than 48 hours, we called for a meeting of all exporters. Some of you were there, I remember. It was a virtual meeting initially because of time. Eventually, we held other meetings in Lagos and Kano to feel the beat of exporters. And that has actually helped us because we appeared before the House Committee, a joint House Committee, who was investigating that, or there was a public hearing on that issue. I personally appeared before the House Committee, and most of the issues are presented. I did not say much because CBN is a sister organization. I did not say much. The only thing I said was that we work, and with the interest of the exporters, it's our concern. They are our clients. So the resolution of these meetings, i.e. the virtual meeting and the meeting in Kano and Lagos, the joint resolution of those meetings was what, or communique of those meetings was what I submitted to the House. So I don't want to bore you because I'm not speaking today. I'm speaking next time. Mr. Boyede asked me to speak to present the paper at the May edition. So I just want to tell you that we are here for you. We will listen to you, and we will try as much as possible, and within our limited means, to tackle issues or challenges that are militating against non-oil export. On this note, I will see you in May, God's willing. I want to thank you, and I want to congratulate my friend and my brother for that wonderful presentation, Mr. Bamidele. Dr. Bamidele, that was wonderful. When the man speaks, you think it's a recorded message that is speaking. You will know it's a man that is speaking. He just speaks on and on and on and on. That was wonderful. On this note, I want to thank you. And I just saw somebody send a chat whether they can ask questions. Please feel free and ask questions. Honestly, if I can answer the question, I will tell you, I will answer the questions. If I can't answer, I will tell you, hold on, get back to me. I will tell you the answer. Thank you very much. May God bless all of us.
So are we allowed to ask the question now?
Thank you so very, very much. And like Mr. Femi said earlier, we are not used to our Nigerian officials listening to us, hearing us, and actually making themselves available to answer our questions no matter how we ask. As we know, please, we are always polite here, so we will equally ask that you ask your questions in a polite manner. We have asked earlier that you put all your questions on the chat. So however, we give you opportunity to speak, but 1 minute at a time. If it's more than 1 minute, unfortunately, we will have to mute you. So please, you are free to ask your questions. Person Solari, if I'm pronouncing your name well or not, pardon me. Your 1 minute starts.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. It's a pleasure being here. Let me observe all protocols because of the time I have. Thank you, Dr. Ezra, for coming. I'm sure you would have heard what I'm going to say now, but please, you help us find out. Some of us, went for this selling on Amazon. We have invested a lot. As I have spent so much money, I'm having to call off that contract to cut my losses. Please, sir, you will need to investigate that matter. God bless you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for making it very short. Let's take one more and you can answer two at the same time. Next one is Ibrahim Haruna. You have 1 minute.
Good afternoon or evening, wherever you guys are. So my question was to Dr. Ezra, and I was just listening to you, and something that was going in my head is that, okay, this is good if you've been listening and be following through our program. But one thing I wanted to ask you is that the last time, I think the last one we had the last month, there was a concern about the exporters not able to export from Nigeria, that they have to go to outside to African countries because it's cheaper. It's cheaper to go export from Ghana than exporting from Nigeria.
20 seconds.
Okay, and so my question would be, what are you doing? What's your organization doing to be able to help take care of that so that we can make sure exporting from Nigeria is easy, it's cheaper and faster? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we can take the two questions now.
Okay, I can take the two questions now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mrs. Bosun Solari. The Amazon issue, you asked for investigation. I'm assuring you I'm going to investigate it. But I will have prefer you to give me a comprehensive brief on the issue. You just said you made investment and you are going to count your losses. It's like, so I didn't get the whole gist. And if I don't have the whole gist, there will be little or nothing we can investigate. So if you don't mind, you can send me an email, ezrayakusak@yahoo.com. It's a private email, and send me the whole gist. Let me have an idea. Or you can, wherever you are, if you are in Lagos or any point, I don't know where you are, you can contact our TPA, that's Trade Promotion Advisor or the regional coordinator, and tell them the issue. They will tell me so that we investigate it. Mr. Ibrahim Haruna, you, of course, express your concern on the issue of exporters moving to other countries to export because of the difficulty or supply side constraints. You are right. And the question you ask is that, what is NEPC doing to checkmate that? I can tell you, sir, that we introduced a program because of that. We introduced a program some times ago called DUE. DUE is Domestic Export Warehouse Scheme. And of course, NEPC cannot operate in isolation, cannot operate in silos. So we contacted our sister agencies, Nigerian Customs Service. We contacted the pre-shipment inspection agents. It is an interagency committee, and also quarantine service and many others. The idea behind the DUE program, that's Domestic Export Warehouse, is to get a warehouse where goods meant for export will be kept, checked, fumigate, and all the necessary checks will be done there. I mean, even quarantine service, everything will be done there. And once the goods are okay for shipping, the goods will be loaded on a truck, and the truck will be sealed, and it will be marked DUE. DUE, that's DEW. Once the cargo is marked DUE, it goes straight to the port. Of course, NPA is one of the interagency members. it goes straight to the port, and by so doing, the issue of logistics, the issue of port congestion will be eliminated or reduced. So this is one of the things we are doing. And recently, we opened up what we call an export trade house in Egypt. That was 2 weeks ago at Sadat Industrial City in Egypt. And the idea behind the export trade house is to send Nigerian goods to Egypt, where willing buyers of the products will go, inspect the goods, and pick them up. Now, you may have a buyer, not only in Egypt, but in neighboring countries. You may have a buyer there. Once the goods reaches that store or that warehouse, the buyer will fly in. Once he see or realize that the goods are up to his specification, he will pick those goods and send the money through LC and pick the goods. So these are sort of things we are doing. And by the way, the export warehouse in Egypt is just a pilot scheme. We have another one that is coming up in Lome. Lome is maybe in weeks' time. We're doing that with Export Trade Nigeria Limited. And all of them are PPP arrangement, that is public-private partnership arrangement. And we also have another one that is coming up in Kenya. We're farming up arrangement on that. That's it. Now, but I need to also tell you that the export warehouse, because I know you guys will have a lot of questions you will ask, and by the time I finish, there will be no time. I need to tell you that the export warehouse is a PPP arrangement. We have a Nigerian company called JM Goma International Limited. It's a Nigerian company that is here, and they have a sister company in Egypt called Agrivedi. Goods will be inspected. Volume of the goods will be inspected by the Nigerian company. Of course, that does not eliminate or us the statutory inspecting agents doing their job. No, that's not what I mean. So, but the important thing is that JM Goma will inspect the goods, determine the volume and value of goods, and ship it to his colleague in Egypt. And of course, those goods will be sold. If there's a buyer, if there's no buyer, they will source for a buyer for those goods. So these are some of the things we do to kind of address the issue of logistics associated with non-oil export, which of course has affected or has impacted negatively on our non-oil export and by implication, Forex inflow. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir. I'm going to read one on the chat forum, and please you're encouraged to use the chat forum as well. My Ijoma Chikeze, my question goes to ED and NEPC. Please, Dr. Ezra, are you going to do something concerning the EDF grant, as so many exporters could not access the fund? Thank you, sir. And the next one is Adamu Gambo says, when will PAPS be activated in Nigeria? If effected, what are the modalities in relation to NXP? Those are two questions for now.
Yeah, before he takes up that question, Lady K.
Yes, sir.
I would like to also add, just for the information of the ED, and so that the members of the WhatsApp, Talking Trade WhatsApp group will actually remember that we talked at length about if there is ease of doing business in Nigeria, which the federal government or Office of the Vice President has adopted. Now is the time to also begin and institutionalize ease of doing exports. So this is just for the information of the ED that at Talking Trade, there is a team that is working on collating all of those challenges. Mr. Aruna limited himself to 1 minute, I'm sure, by just putting everything together as difficulty in exporting from Nigeria. But the nitty-gritty of the challenges, the financial aspects, the logistics, the services of it, and at the end of the day, the non-competitiveness of it, there is a small team at Talking Trade that is putting together a paper that will be sent to you as to complement whatever it is that you are already doing. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Lady K, I had the question of Ijoma, but I didn't hear that of Adamu very well. I don't know, can you repeat it, please? Thank you.
Yes, he said, when will PAPS, PAPSS, be activated in Nigeria? If effected, what are the modalities in relation to NXP?
Which test? Which what?
Okay, Adamu Gambo, are you there, please? Can you quickly?
Yeah, yes, I'm around.
Okay, 1 minute, sir, please, 1 minute.
Hello?
Yes, 1 minute, ask your question.
Okay, no, he didn't answer my question is that with the launching of PAPs in Ghana, when is it going to be affected in Nigeria? And if it is so, how do you factor that into our NXPs? Thank you.
Okay, I think many of us, we don't understand what PAPs and NXP mean. Can you substantiate?
You know, when you open the Form M for export, now you need to capture your NXP in the currency of repatriation. In most cases, you see our currency of repatriation is either in dollars or pound sterling. Now, in this case, with the part on, how are we going to factor that? Are we going to cut the dollars, but maybe doing the red factoring, or we are going to cut it in Nigerian naira? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Adamu Gambo. Honestly, this is an issue that will have to be discussed with CBN and other regulatory agencies. NEPC cannot take any decision on its own on this issue. So if I tell you that this is what will happen, I will not be very, very, very truthful with you. So please, just hold on. I've had this. Just hold on. Other people have shared that concern. Just hold on. You hear from us. In respect of Mr. Ijoma.
Thank you, Edie. I really appreciate your candid answer. Thank you so much, Edie.
All right, sir. Okay, thank you very much. And I appreciate you too. I appreciate you, Mr. Adamu. Okay, in respect of Ijoma, EDF. You know, EDF is a, by the way, EDF, for the purpose of people that I just need to be enlightened, EDF is Export Development Fund. It's a pre-shipment inspection scheme that was initiated since 1986, by the way, by virtue of the Export Incentive and Miscellaneous Provisions Act. It was enacted in 1986, but I must tell you that it has never been affected or taken off, basically due to funds. But last year, the EDF took off, and about 1,911, I'll get my records right, exporters, no, mainly SMEs benefited, and exporters, of course, benefited from that EDF. Now, that EDF was successfully taken off because of the relief, COVID-19 relief under the Economic Sustainability Program that was given to NEPC, which most of you are aware. And part of it, we had to argue that there should be a need to activate the EDF using the instrumentality of that relief grant. So having done that, that was exhausted. I can tell you that, Ijoma, that was exhausted because there was a platform that was open. Enablers were appointed who checked the application and checked the suitability of the applications and made adequate recommendations. By the way, the enablers were outside the NEPC. They were not staff of NEPC. They were far outside the NEPC. They were commissioned to check the applications and make appropriate recommendations for award of that grant. And that they did. And people that were successful were of course granted that grant. As I'm telling you now, for now, the amount allocated for that grant was exhausted. We are making efforts and appeal to the federal government if that grant or a little part of it can actually be given to us again because of the impact that it has made in the non-oil export sector. So Ijoma, if you can just exercise patience, once that is done, of course, I'm sure you'll be a beneficiary. Thank you very much.
Yes. I'd like to appreciate my big brother, Dr. Ezra, for coming on this program. And my question is, are there possibilities of doing a partnership where we can set up common facility centers? This would help in being able to serve the community where certain commodities are produced so that they can meet international standards before they're exported. So is there an opening? I know it's a capital intensive project, but is there a possibility for a public-private partnership with NEPC, sir? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to be calling next Mark. That's how I see you, and I will call it Dr. Esemede John. But before then, please, I yield the floor to Doctor. Please go ahead, sir, to answer their questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Gangarina. Thank you very much, Adepojo Olawumi. Thank you for those comments. That's what we want to hear from NEPC. That if NEPC has had impact on you, one way or the other, please go there and say it. The idea is not for us to make our heads big, but the idea is to encourage others to export. That's just what we want to hear. Mr. Gangarin Madaki, thank you very much for that question also. Your question is whether there are openings for partnership or setting up a CFC, that's a common facility program in any locality. The answer is yes. If you have that idea and within our limited funds or limited funds, please come over to NEPC or write us a proposal. We'll study a proposal. If it's something we can run with, I assure you that will be done. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Can you hear me? Are you hearing me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I have Mark. Can you please introduce yourself? We see you as Mark, M-A-K. And Gangari, can you please lower your hand? Thank you. If you are spoken, please lower your hand. 1 minute.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I am Mark. Mark stands for Mohammed Ahmed Kontagora. I'm the president of National Share Product Association of Nigeria. Let me also join my colleagues and thanking Mr. Ezra for finding time to be here with us. And as he promised, I know he will fulfill his promise. I think that will go along and ease most of our problems, so long as we're interacting with you more and more. And one of the questions I wanted to address or to ask is what Mr. Gagay has talked about, and that is having common facility. The idea is for us to make sure that we have the basic infrastructure, because one of the key challenges in this country is that there is lack of the basic infrastructure for production of and the processing of all these commodities, especially considering the fact that in export business, two key things matter: consistency in terms of quality and quantity, and of course, the issue of traceability. So we must have the basic infrastructure, must have the basic knowledge for us to be able to do. And on the other hand, I want to suggest we have to do a deliberate policy, because the one day speaker was talking, he mentioned so many commodities, so many issues, the advantage other countries have taken. We have to understand that here in Nigeria, most of the time, up to this moment, we are doing agrarian agriculture. Now, we need to do a deliberate policy such that we do farming for export. That way it will not affect our local market. And of course, on your target, you can stay, for example, some farmers, large scale farmers
20
on top of
seconds
them.
more, sir. 20 more seconds.
Okay, that's one. And secondly, I want to challenge the speaker, because he did, when he was mentioning all these commodities, he refused to mention shea butter. And Nigeria accounts for over 57% of all production. I hope you'll find ways to include shea butter. This is a market that is worth over 3 billion in a year. And we as a country, as a nation, as an association, we set a target of exporting 1 million tons of shea butter on a yearly basis. And if we are able to achieve exporting 1 million tons, it means at $2,000 per ton, we are targeting $2 billion. So please consider share. If you need more information, you need to talk to us. We are willing to see you. Of course, we've been talking with our guy, Mr. Ezra. He has been given us the necessary cooperation, and I believe we'll achieve that objective. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you so very much. Please just pardon us for cutting you short. It's because of the time, and he's coming next month. I believe we are going to have a bigger room and more robust. Abubakar Abdullahi, I see your hand up. Please oblige us. 1 minute. Thank you very much.
My name is Alhaji Abubakar Abdullahi. I'm into agriculture A to Z in the agri value chain. Somebody mentioned the role of Ministry of Agriculture. Now, most of the problems we have today and our lack of achieving what we want to achieve in terms of quality produce and then exporting them and also consuming same in Nigeria is simply because we're a dependent group of farmers. You cannot depend on government for everything. The major issue we have is that our cluster, our farmer association, farmer-based organizations are not organized. And that's why CBI keeps saying go back and form clusters, organize the clusters so that they understand production. And once there's enough quality production, the whole other problem will be mute and we'll achieve what we want to achieve. So my advice is that rather than relying on government, please let the farmer-based organization, whether they are ginger association, rice association, onion association, and even shea butter association, and so on and so forth, let them get themselves organized. Give the farmers clarity and direction. We are here trying to help them in whatever they want to do. If anybody is talking about storage, we have signed up with a company that will help us in the storage. And we can present that to all the farmer-based organizations for them to adopt. And in that case, post-harvest losses will be minimized. But finally, I want to say, if we want to move, we have to move, and the private sector, the association have to drive it, then the government will come in. But it's not the other way around. If it's the other way around, the government has too many things to do. And it's too big to move. And we have had experiences. So let us rethink. Think outside the box. Let's not think inside the box. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. That was really great. I don't see any hand up. I see in the chat forum. Okay, John Isemide. Yes, please come in. Please unmute yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Very clearly.
Thank you. I'm extremely happy to be here this evening. We are talking of exports, and we are talking of the future of this country. First and foremost, let me thank those who put these things together, and to appreciate and thank the Chief Executive of NEPC for finding time to join some of us. I want to assure him that we are standing solidly behind him. The success of that office rests on our shoulder. When he came in, the first thing he did was to identify exporters and put on, not the problems, he took us and put us in the same umbrella. And let me first of all thank him. In the area of capacity building, he has hit the ground running, because I met him first 25 years ago in Morocco when I was doing this job. And the presenter, Bamidele, what I used to tell him is that people like Dr. Ugawa, Apology, and all that have retired. They gave the baton to us. Now we have given it to him, and he must not drop. And we thank him for what he's doing, and we are very proud of him. Not only this presentation, we have seen him across the globe. And not only that, the excuse of Russia and Ukraine could not be, because it was Russia that will fix Ajakuta, the refineries, this and all that. It's now a challenge we have to. My question goes to Femi Boyede, who has been my brother in this struggle for over 30 years. And we cannot tell you what we have done. Boyede, thank you for the role you are playing. And we have to join hands together to let the world know, even with your Rosario report, some of us came out that NEPC is the body that people should join, not we joining others. And what you have come up with of ease of doing business is now ease of doing exports. We have to take it, like what is happening in Pakistan and all that. CBN and other agencies will just come up, ABCD. The first thing, they have to thank the ED call all of us. I made it clear on this program that we are not under CBN. We are partners. And you cannot put export and import on the same template. For them, it's not the same as NSP. And this one of payment system, we have done this under the clearinghouse and all that. Today, I was just writing on it. We have to stand as a body. Let us be recognized like other agencies, not one agency telling us if the OPS is not standing, they are only interested in trade and trade mission. We, the past exporters and the current, must join the ED and take export to the next level. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, sir. Okay, we will.
I need to respond to Dr. Isemede because his question was to me.
Yes.
Thank you so much, my brother, in this battle for Nigeria's export group. I'm sure that, I think you were at the Eco Hotels when Olusegun Awolowo, the then ED NEPC, launched the network of practicing non-oil exporters of Nigeria on the 6th of March, 2020.
Yes.
The idea then was to have a vibrant all stakeholders network, more like the umbrella association of private sector that we have always talked about on the pages of newspapers and on TV interviews, those of us who are leading the war. So with NPNEN on ground, it is what the country has been looking for. However, NPNEN will remain a paper organization until those of us, I don't want to say those of you who are still looking from outside, because John, you were with us in 4 Points by Sheraton when we started talking under the PDF Technical Assistance Program, where I made the suggestion that Nigeria needed an umbrella, a credible umbrella body that will speak and can even help the partner organization, Nigeria Export Promotion Council, to propound even its own ideas, because the advocacy will be in the mouth of the exporter and it will not be seen. For example, if NEPC, look at the issue of the e-invoice. Look at the various draconian policies that are emanating from the NEPC. It is true.
CBN.
From the CBN. I'm sorry. CBN. Your position is true that unless we come together, but the coming together also needs the coming to join by those who know. Fighting this, I spoke to Gagarin, who told me, Madaki, about 2 months ago, who was telling me they are trying to set up an association. I said, no, there's no need for any association any longer, because there is network of practicing non-oil exporters of Nigeria that was actually enabled by a technical assistance from the UK government. That project has has closed now. It has come to a completion. It's a legal entity. It is the entity that the Nigeria Export Promotion Council logically and naturally would be happy to work with if we at the private sector have actually agreed and put our act together. So if we continue to operate in silos and everybody wants to set up one decision or the other, then there's going to be a problem, because then Dr. Yakusak and his team will be groping for. Then you will now be invited for an interview to prove why you are better than the other, rather than for all of us to come together. And I can assure you, check out the website of NPNEN. 2 former ministers are the co-chairs. A former director of Trade and Exchange of the Central Bank of Nigeria is on the board of trustees. The Prince Oluyede, the guy, the founder of the Global Gap and what have you, I'm sure you have him on the PC.
I know him.
The board was actually carefully selected so that if any of these make any presentation or even a visit to any agency of government, you find the respect. So I stand to respond to your question by saying that that vehicle is already existing. It is now time for us to ensure that it grows from being a baby to now start playing the role. And then not only NEPC, but other agencies. Thanks for doffing your cap, but that's the least we can do as long as we are alive. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so very much. We are rounding up now. The last question we may be able to take today, Doris Ogbodu says, good evening, ED. Please, what is NEPC doing with respect to capacity building of SMEs involved in exporting and with a view to boosting their export potentials?
Okay, can I take that question, please, now?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much for that question. Apart from the usual sensitization program and another capacity program we organize for SMEs, we took a notch a little bit higher because, see, no matter what we do, no matter how many millions workshop we organize, if it does not translate to actual exports, we're not doing anything. And that's our target, really. So what we did is that we kind of change direction or trajectory of how we do things. We identify some SMEs, and the issue was issue of certification. You are aware that our non-export, we face so many cases of export reject because of certifications. Lack of certifications like the HACCP, sometimes kosher, halal, fair trade, FDA, and other certifications. And so this certification can be very expensive. So what we did was that we identified some, it was a test case and it was very successful, identified some SMEs that had the right products and they look competitive. And so we identified them, and we now, there was an intervention fund, which we pushed them out there and subjected them to those certifications, and we paid. So on about, I think, 15 December 2020, last year, we actually presented certificates to those 36 SMEs. So now that upon realizing that the project was successful, we are right now collecting names of other SMEs that they look export ready, but they don't have certification. We're doing that. We'll collect them and we'll see how we can go on this second phase of the program. So I think that is very key for us in NEPC, and that's very key for us as a nation, because if the issue is lack of certification, then we solve it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Yakusak. We have, Mr. Femi Boyede just sent me the name of Anna Aduluba. Anna Aduluba, are you there? If you are there, please unmute yourself. The name is Anna Aduluba. Pardon me if I'm not pronouncing it well. Unmute yourself. Okay, maybe technical error or something. Okay, so at this junction, honestly, we all know that we have all been looking for this opportunity to be able to speak with the stakeholders, with the policymakers directly. And we are so happy to have Dr. Ezra coming to our level to speak with us. If only we could be able to speak with our policymakers, I believe we are going to be good in Nigeria. And our guest speaker of today, you have done extremely so wonderfully well, which has led us into being able to ask questions directly now from Dr. Ezra. Your presentation helped us to actually have understanding of so many things we did not know before. So at this junction, I will be calling on you again to please give us your last word if it's okay with Mr. Femi. It's okay with Mr. Boyede? You can go ahead. You're on mute, Mr. Boyede. Okay, so we'll be calling
Please
on
go
you.
ahead.
Okay, we'll be calling on you now, Dr. Adebose. So please go ahead and give us your last words. And we have really, really, really enjoyed your presentations. And please, we will appeal to you. So many people still have questions to ask you directly, but we have leveraged on your presentation to ask direct questions. So on the platform, please be ready to answer some of those questions that we still have left directly for you. Can you please say one or two things to round up your presentation for today?
All right. Thank you very much. It's been an honor to be here. And the fact that we have the EDC of NEPC around also has really helped, because a lot of people have questions on their mind and they've been able to get answer to them. In summary, I think, like the ED said, we should not just go beyond just talking and training and begin to see actual export being done, so that all that is being done on this platform and all other various platforms at the end of the day translate to actual export trade for Nigeria, so we can be able to contribute significantly to the growth of the forex reserve that Nigeria needed to be able to make this country a better place. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much for respecting the time. And Mr. Boyede, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, you want to say a word of appreciation to him?
Yes, I'd like to thank Dr. Ayemibo. I would like to thank the ED again. We will continue to appreciate your engagement with us, and thank you for the assurances. I think a lot of the exporters today, they are leaving this webinar just like us, a little bit more assured that there's hope for the non-oil export sector of Nigeria. And just like Johnny Semede said, ED, please count on the support and the goodwill that God has helped you to elicit from Nigerians. Count on the support of all of us to ensure that the narrative is completely changed. I forgot to mention that Dr. Ayemibo is also a member of the Board of Trustees of the Network of Practicing Non-Oil Exporters of Nigeria. And so you see him, if you forgot that cap, please add it to his bald head. Hey, I forgot to, I said I wasn't going to say that both of us were bald, but thank you so much, my co-bald headed brother. And who else to appreciate? I read somewhere in the Holy Book that a king called a feast, and he invited VIPs and none of them turned up. We want to thank you all, the audience, the participants, that you actually turned up and you did not allow this feast of dialogue and rubbing of minds to go on eating. Of course, you had it confirmed by the ED. First Saturday in May, 5 p.m. Nigeria time, we will have an elaborate interactive session with the Executive Director, CEO of the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. And until we get to that time, I want to once again thank you all and ask that God Almighty, in whatever form you worship Him, that He will continue to cover all of us all. And leaving the best for last, I want to thank the very confirmed best team in the world, the technical team, Lady K, Sheifumi Adebote, Dr. Oluo Uwatoyin Taiwo, and he's not with us here today, Benga Oshinaite. These are the people. So when you see where they're dancing outside, these are the drummers who are making it all happen. I'm proud of you all, and I thank you for your continued support. God bless.
Okay, thank you so very much. Thank you, Mr. Femi Boyede, for this wonderful idea. And thank you to everyone that are attending now worldwide. We have from London, from Saudi Arabia, Nigeria, from all over the world. And thank you to our guest speaker and guest appearance. Looking forward to next month. So just to reiterate what has been said, the team comprises of Olufemi Boyede, Kemi Amusho, known as Lady K, Sheyifumi Adebote, Haruna Ibrahim, Project Management, Dr. Olu Taiwo, and
sorry, Haruna, I forgot.
That's why I had to do it, because you forgot.
Thank you.
Yes. So thank you to everyone, and we are looking forward to seeing you next month. And you know, you can go to Facebook and YouTube to see what has been done today. Actually, we are live on Facebook. Some people are joining right on Facebook right now. And when the recording is ready, you will see it on the WhatsApp group. If you are not a member yet, please, you can contact any of us. After due screening, we will add you to be a member. And also, we are moving to Telegram. So please, gradually, let's move to Telegram because we are getting bigger. However, we are not in a hurry to be thousands. What we are interested in are just only those few people that this program will benefit every month, and who the people that are ready to abide by the rules and regulations. Be mindful on the platform, be mindful of the language you use. We do not condone any language that will appear like you are bullying someone else. Allow everyone to express themselves the way they know, but please do not speak in any language that will not make others happy. We are all here to learn. We are all here to progress. Thank you again for attending, everybody. Have a very, very wonderful April. Bye to everyone. You can mute yourself to say bye. Bye, bye,
Bye-bye to everybody. Bye. Lady K, bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, Lady K.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.